Several weeks ago, I shared with you a summary of the Bishop Cedrick Bridgeforth, of his goals for us as an annual conference, or really the whole greater Northwest area, so Alaska, Pacific Northwest, and Oregon, Idaho, and our work together. And he used the acronym MILE, M-I-L-E. The fourth letter in that stands for eliminating racism. And so then this year, as part of our annual evaluation, the part that the SPRC does of me as your pastor and of us as a church, one of the questions in there is, how have you as a church worked to eliminate racism? How have we been learning? How have we been growing? What actions are we taking to eliminate racism? Now, I'll be honest, that's something I work on in my own life. It's something that I try and draw into some of my preaching, but actively for all of us as a church, that's not really something that we've been working on. I know that we care about it. I think if I were to poll everyone, we would say, yeah, no, we don't want racism. We don't want to be racist in ourselves, but what work are we doing to be anti-racist? What work are we doing as individuals? What work are we doing in the church? How are we being part of institutional change that affects the denomination and affects our government, our politics, our policies? We know that racism is ingrained in our culture, in our systems, but it doesn't have to be. We can work to do something different, to be something different. Now that affects our individual learning, how we affect racist notions as they come up within us, as we notice them in our being or in movies or in conversations with people. And it affects looking at policies. And there are people doing some of that work for us. The General Board of Church and Society, an arm of the United Methodist Church that works on Capitol Hill lobbying for policy change, legislative change. They have work on racism and anti-racism. We have the General Commission on Race and Religion, and they have classes and workshops and webinars on racism and how we eliminate it within ourselves and within our structures. So as I do my own reflection, okay, what am I doing to be anti-racist, and how am I going to start leading our church more intentionally in work that is anti-racist, right? Changing the systems and structures and our individual beliefs. I would encourage you to do some of that same reflection for yourself. What is it that you are doing to be anti-racist? Not just to say, well, I'm not a racist and I don't hold on to those big bigoted beliefs, but I'm also willing to look at microaggressions, those small things that I do, the nuances, the cultural norms that I've picked up, to listen to voices and perspectives that are not my own, so that I might continue to grow and be better in these ways, that we might see substantive change in our congregation, in our community, in our denomination, and in our country. I found myself with homework based on the bishop's question, and I imagine most of us will. Different ways, maybe different levels that we're learning, but I would encourage us to be looking for ways that we might grow in our understanding of the pervasive ways that racism has taken hold in our society and the ways that we might make a change. Take care, friends.